Alright guys, good morning. I kind of wanted to share something today. It's going to be more of me just sharing my heart with you guys about some things. You know, look at the little baby chicks. We got the buffs and the Americanas. It's pretty neat to have those. The Americanas is something different. I've been doing just the buffs, you know. But anyway, I want to talk to you about something, okay? Because I get a few people, and not so much on my channel or even on my Facebook channel, but just in general, people just know that I run into, and I know people that come here, because I get a lot of people come here. I get customers that come here to buy trees. And so I get asked a lot about, you know, raising chickens and raising quail. And really, I recommend both. I have both. I recommend it. Okay. But there are cons and pros to each side. Okay. And depending on where you live and what you're doing. Okay. So if you have acreage and you have a farm and you got a big coop and a run, you know, chickens are easy. Even for me in my backyard, chickens are easy. It's just they take up a lot of space. Okay. They do. They take up, you got to, you know, depending on how many chickens you have. Now, I got, you know, 18 chickens. So, I mean, I got to have space for that, okay? Now, a lot of backyard homesteaders that have chickens, they might don't, like my daughter, she has 4. And they have a family of 7. And they get enough eggs to meet their needs with 4 chickens, 4 hens. I can't fathom that, because I have a family of 3. I have 18 chickens, and we use the heck out of our eggs. But we do give eggs away, but not that much anymore. And I do sell some. When I get like a lot in the fridge where I ain't got no more room to put anymore, I'm coming in to wash this little tomato off, put it up. And I don't have any room in my refrigerator anymore. Well, yeah. Somebody asks, almost every customer that comes here asks if I sell the yard eggs. So when I'm ready to sell some, it's pretty much a done deal. That day or the next day, I could sell, you know, several dozen eggs and get my refrigerator cleared out so that I can keep putting them in. Now, so when it comes to the chickens, and I'm going to talk to people with backyards right now, okay, because I can't talk a whole lot about having a farm because I've never had one, but from what I watch on TV and knowing what I do with chickens now, I mean, chickens are easy. They really are. And they're just going to take up more space than quail, okay? Now, if you're in a backyard situation, it's tight spot, or you don't want to take up a lot of your yard, you just want a little area of your yard, well, you know, it all depends how you want to raise the quail, okay? You can make a coop the size of a nice size little chicken coop and allow your quail to kind of free range in a way, but inside the coop. You can't let them free range in your yard like you could let maybe chickens, okay? Because look, let me tell you, one time I was doing some work on one of the cages here, and I set some sawhorses up right here, and I put this cage right here. I put this cage on the sawhorses. I took the quail out of one of the cages and put them in there, and I was going to do some work on it. I ran inside to get me a drink of water. Okay, from here to there. The refrigerator is right there by the door. I open it up and I got my little jug, my mason jar that I keep in there with cold water, and I got one I have tea, so I can just open the door, reach, take a swallow or two, put it back, and come on out. I did that. By the time I came out, there was a hawk on the cage and already was able to get 2 of the quail. He couldn't pull them out, but he killed 2 of the quail. Had killed 2 of them that quick. Now, I hadn't even noticed any hawks flying around didn't notice it, but apparently they sitting around here waiting for the moment to get some quail or to get a chicken. They waiting for that moment. And I'm saying that because you just can't free range your quail. And the chickens, you can free range them because I did that before and I didn't have any hawks come attack them. But I didn't have a rooster either, and a rooster would help out. But in a backyard situation, a lot of times in the city, you can't have roosters, and I'm not supposed to have roosters either. And I have 2 that are my main roosters for breeding, but I'll have other roosters because the hens sell more than the roosters, so I have a lot of roosters. So we process those, and those go in the. We grow them out, you know. Sometimes I feed them the 30% feed to fatten them up, let them grow quicker. It helps them grow quicker, and so I can process them. Now, you know, we might get, 3-pound birds, but that's fine. A 3-pound bird is fine for us. My three people in my family, we can take 1 chicken out. It might be small, 3 pounds is small, but we fit it with a meal. We eat other stuff with it, and it works. We're not like wishing we cooked a second one, or bummed out that our meal was so small. It's not. Actually, there's usually another meal left. Actually, there's another plate. So like a 4th person could actually eat with us. So anyway, so chickens take up more space, okay? Just talking, I'm not trying to down having chickens, okay? I'm just trying to, the pros and cons for somebody trying to raise meat, let's say, in their backyard in the city, okay? All right, so chickens take up more space, number one. Number 2, they cost more to feed than it costs to feed quail. That's number 2. And number 3, chickens are a lot louder. Even the hens are louder, and people will know you have them. Where with the quail, the males make a noise, and people might like, I wonder what that is, not realizing that you're raising quail. They'll hear that bird somewhere, because it'll be just as loud as any other bird you might hear chirping somewhere in a tree. You're not making that loud mating call sound or something, You'll hear that, and because that's what they do. The males do that. The females are pretty quiet. They make this little bitty small sound that you got to be right up there to hear it, okay? All right, so chickens are louder. So chickens, but the good thing about chickens is they're bigger and you get more meat. And the eggs are bigger, so you can eat less eggs with your breakfast, let's say, or if you want to use eggs, mix it in a meal for something, you'd have to use double the quail eggs than you would chicken eggs. But chicken eggs are actually more nutritious than, quail eggs are more nutrition, has a greater nutritional value to it than a chicken egg. And I'm not down on chickens. We still have them. We eat more chicken eggs than we eat quail eggs. Now, I eat probably more quail eggs myself personally. I like the flavor and the taste of a quail egg over the chicken egg. So I sometimes I fry them, and then but I pickle a lot of them, and that's what I eat mostly because I sell a lot of pickled eggs. And now I'm eating a lot of them too, just because it's so good for you. And it doesn't have no bad cholesterol in quail eggs. And quail eggs have more the vitamins in it that the chicken eggs do and all that. So anyway, so if you're in a backyard, and also if you have a backyard little homestead, you're trying to maybe, you want to start raising something. The quail, you can actually, if you had a garage or even a shed that was, you could actually set them up in there, not loose. You can put your cages in there, and not even really take up any extra space in your yard, because they need to be out of the weather all the time. I mean, a chicken too, okay, the chicken needs to be out of the weather too. But the quail, now with the quail, when you have them in these little cages, you got little cages, and then to keep them clean, you gotta have trays that you clean. So when it comes to the quail, well, there's maintenance involved with quail that's not involved with chickens. So it's going to take some more of your time handling the quail and raising the quail than it will raising chickens. But truthfully, it's not that much time. Once you get your little system down how you do it, you know, you might clean, like I clean the trays, you know, actually on a Wednesday and on a Saturday. I do it on those days. Those are the days that my trash men come, and I kind of do it on those days just to remind. That's my way of reminding me to clean them. Okay. Now, when I only have a few in there, I got more in there now, so I got to clean them twice a week, and I need to clean them even more right now in the rainy season. Like right now, we had a thunderstorm that came through, and actually the trays are wet. It smells, so I need to clean it. And what I usually do when we have them kind of rains, I usually put a tarp up around the top of that so they don't get wet. And I really need to do that. I'm kind of slacking on that, but I've been busy. I worked at my daughter's house Monday. Tuesday, I took my other daughter to sell her car, to get another car. She didn't get the car, so this morning I did that Monday with her. And yesterday I worked with my other daughter to get water running in her kitchen so she can have her kitchen going. And then this morning so far, I just got back home, but I've been going this morning. I took my other daughter to go get her new car. So I'm finished working with her. The other daughter I'm not finished with. I'm finished with the water for right now. She can operate, but we got to put the top cabinets up and then run the water line to the, you know, to the refrigerator. But anyway, get back to chickens and quail. So you got to weigh all this out yourself. You know, do some research, get on YouTube, just kind of watch some videos of what people do with them, how they raise them. You go on my channel, I have, if you go on the playlist, I just made some playlists. So I have a playlist with all my quail videos in the playlist. So I'm kind of starting to divide that up so it would be easier for people to find videos when they go on my channel. I'm just really learning how to do that, you know. I think it's going to help my channel out a lot to put stuff in a playlist. But anyway, so you got to weigh that out. Now, right now, with the way that the feed prices are, if you're going to do anything in the backyard, I would recommend quail. Okay. To build your cages is going to probably even be less for you to do than to build a chicken coop. If you're buying stuff that's already made, you could roughly pay about the same price probably for quail cages and then a chicken coop. Probably. I don't know, because I haven't really checked it out, because I build all my own stuff, and maybe it might cost more to build it than it is to go buy something made. I don't really know. Not for me, because a lot of my material, basically all the material at this point, almost probably, I'm going to go low so I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to say 80% of all the material that I have that I built my quail cages, my incubator, my brooder, my grow out pens, and my chicken coops and their grow out pens, 80% of it was free material, let's say, that I collected off of Craigslist. One job, I actually got paid to go work with somebody to tear down. I was going to tear down the deck. When I got there, they had all kind of people there to help, so it was like worked the whole day, made $350, and plus was able to take a bunch of lumber home. So that was a pretty good deal. That might be something you can do. Now, times are a little different right now. People are not getting rid of wood, because wood's almost like gold right now as far as the price of it. And so it's hard when you see people's not throwing out real good material. Like at one time, people tear down fences, and you can always pick up chunks of fences and everything with good material, you know. And that's how I actually started my whole thing around this backyard with my elevated beds was with fence boards. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about chickens. I got to stay on the subject here. Chickens and quail. So right now with the feed, it's a lot cheaper to feed quail. And then that would depend on how many quail you have. So like if you would only raise 4 chickens, but then now for you to have 4 chickens, and let's say you're not doing it for meat. Let's just say you're just doing it for eggs. Well, you would have to have at least maybe 10 to 12 quail hens, okay, to equal out. Because the quail, they lay every day, but you could get a day where some of them don't lay. And if they get spooked about something, they might not, none of them might not, you know, you do something around a coop that spooks them, they won't lay nothing for a day, sometimes 2 days or 3, depending on how bad the spook was. Like if you get animals start coming at night to mess with them, and you start noticing your egg production is really dropping, but you don't, the first thing you need to start thinking about and looking for is predators trying to get in the cage at night. And that's probably one of the things that's going on. If you got them in the backyard like mine, I get raccoons try to come for these things. Okay, so like but you could grow them in a garage. You can put them in a shed. You could grow them in a little cheap greenhouse like that. That would even help. Now a raccoon could probably break through and get into that, but I'm just saying, if you already have a shed in your yard that's kind of big and you got space in it where you can set up some cages in there, then you're not taking up no space in your yard, and you're raising the quail in there, and they'll be protected and safe in there from predators, you know. So anyway, okay, so you got to weigh it out. Just weigh it out. Personally, for backyard homesteaders, I highly recommend quail. Listen to me. This is my thinking on it. It's just me saying, okay? My opinion, my perspective. If whoever's listening, if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that 2 years ago I started talking kind of about like what's going on now, and I didn't have no clue. I always just feel like I was being led of God to say these things, and that He was kind of putting that on my heart. That times could get hard, times could get rough, and it might even get so hard it might like be hard to buy feed for my chickens. Well, it is getting harder. I can still buy it, but now I'm paying pretty much almost double this year than I was paying last year to feed my chickens. And now I do have more chickens. Okay, I do have more than I did last year. But regardless, my price that I've been spending has doubled. So I got this area right here where I'm growing, looks like a bunch of junk, but it's corn. I got corn, okra, and sunflowers growing here. Now, yeah, there's a lot of grass, and I neglected it, and man, now it's really overgrown. So I got to get in between the rows. I'm going to get in between the rows and clean them all out and start there. And once I do that, then I can hand pick in between the rows and in between the corn stalks and everything. Yeah, you know, but I'm going to get in there with a hoe and clean out the walking the aisles, you know. But anyway, so I'm kind of growing that to help with the feed a little bit. Now it's not going to be a lot because that's the only area if I had a farm, if I had a farm, I would have an area, a nice size area that I would be growing food just for my animals. So I would do stuff like corn and soybean and whatever else. I would do my research and find out what kind of stuff I should grow to help supplement the feed to the animals. But I have all concrete in my backyard. This is the only area of ground that I can grow anything like this. Okay, so I'm dedicated that little area. It's not big at all. It's what, 16 or 15 feet by 8 feet wide. That's all it is. And now I'm hoping that I don't have my corn too close and that I don't get any corn because it might be too close. I don't know. If that's the case, I'm going to keep an eye on it, clean it out, do a little research. If it is, I'll start pulling some out. if I'm too close. So, but anyway, so I'm doing that to help with the feed. The quail feed, I very rarely buy their food because it lasts so long. I think I probably just buy a 50-pound bag once a month, I believe. I need to kind of maybe be more aware of how often I do buy their food. But I buy now I have two things for them. I have one that's a 30% feed. Now that I use, that lasts so long because you feed it to the quail just for 6 weeks, right? Well, lately I might get 30 baby quails hatch, and 6 hours later they're gone, they're sold. So I'm not really using my feed up, you know, just a little bit to get them started, that for them a couple of hours or the first day or whatever. So my 30% feed, which is the more expensive feed, it's lasted me a long time because I don't use that every day. Now, the other ones I feed just regular 16% feed, like you do the chickens, and I get them the crumbles. So I got a separate can, garbage can over there, the black garbage can, if you can see it back there, and that's got their food in it, the crumbles. And I'm very rarely am I buying the crumbles to fill it up. I go to the feed twice a month, and probably once a month I'm buying the crumbles. And I'm not out when I buy it. I'm just kind of like, I got room to fit another bag in there, so I put it in. I get it. I got the money to do it, and I'll get it. Like sometimes if I really don't have the money to get it, when I go there, I'll just get the chicken feed, because I've never really run out of theirs yet. Okay, so anyway. So they're a lot cheaper to feed, a lot. I think on the chicken feed, what I have right now, see, I don't have grass for them to go free range on, and I can't put a run out for them because I don't have that space. So it would be different for you if you had all grass in your backyard. You can make a coop and you can make a run, and some people are making like a little small run along their fence line, all along their fence line, and the chickens can run all along the fence line and dig up and eat and have a good time and eat worms and all that kind of stuff out the ground, right? Okay, I can't do that. All right, so I have to use more feed for them than somebody that has grass. And maybe you might be in my same situation with me, or maybe you might not want to put any run out for them. You just want to keep them in a little coop, so you would have to feed them everything they need. And plus I'm growing the comfrey. I grow enough comfrey where I can do what I want to do with it, make my comfrey salad, plus I feed them a lot of comfrey, which is really good for them. So I'm actually growing corn and comfrey, okra, which okra puts out a lot of stuff, so that's okra, and I got sunflowers, so I have a bunch of sunflower seeds. I've grown sunflowers before. I wish I only got 6 plants. I might try to start some more. I might try to plant a few more sunflower plants, because those are good to have. That's good seed for your birds. So anyway, weigh it out, guys. Okay, there's pros and cons to each one. What is your situation? Get a piece of paper out. Write down the pros and cons to your situation. How much money you got coming in? How much money you want to donate to, or not donate, but designate to every month toward your animals. Okay, because you got look, doing farming in the backyard or on big lake. Look, it's not free food ever. I don't know, people sometimes, maybe, yeah, but you brought it, you got all this free food. Free food. It probably costs me in the long run more money to do what I'm doing here than it is to buy at Walmart, truthfully. But I know what I'm eating here, and my food's better than what I get at Walmart. And yeah, it costs more. Why? Well, it costs to do this, and it costs a lot of your time. And if it costs you, so that's why you got to learn things like saving seeds and stuff. So you know how to. So you're saving on that. You ain't got to buy seeds every year, and that's just a small amount of what it costs. but it costs to take care of your stuff with your water bill, water and stuff. So collect rainwater, knock that down. That's one of my next steps. I'm using my city water, which is like, man, I'm doing all this organic stuff, and my water I'm watering my stuff with has all this chlorine and fluoride junk in it. It's like I love it when we get rain like this, because I don't have to use city water, and they're getting rain. And I really need to set up my barrels and get my rain catchment thing going. And so I did that for years. This was just the last, since I did all this, and because the aquaponics I have now, that tank that I'm using for that used to sit over, and the roof used to drain right in it, and it would fill it up, and I had rainwater there all the time, and I had a little spigot thing that would go in. It took me longer to water everything because I watered it by hand. Okay, but I need to set the same thing I had up and let it go into a barrel that I can hook a hose on so I can water my stuff. I need to do that, and it would be simple. I just got to do it. You know what? I need to make that priority, and I'm talking about it with you guys. But anyway, you got to weigh all that out. The water that you're going to be paying to water your chickens or your quail, the food, and any supplements that you want to give them, because you know, if you're just giving them just the feed you get from the store, well, it's not the best. It's not the best thing for them to live on their whole life. You have to add some other stuff that they need, some other things that have a lot, like the comfrey, or like sometimes I buy the mealworms. Let me go inside because the rain's coming down. The mealworms or the grub worms or whatever, and you buy those sometimes and you feed it to them. I can't afford that stuff, you know, to give them every day. Okay, you know, I might do 2 weeks. 2 months at a time, and take a break for several months, and then do it again for another 2 months. So they might, out of 12 months, they might for 4 months get the mealworms. But at the same time, they're getting things out in my garden. Okay, they're getting the comfrey, which is real good for them. Okay, and then I'm gonna be, you know, I got the corn coming up, and the okra and the sunflowers. And I had bought sunflower seeds too before, and sometimes I mix that into their mix. And but they went up like tremendously on sunflower seeds. I mean, some ridiculous price they went up to. Like from 15, they doubled the price. $34, $35 for a bag, 50-pound bag of sunflower seeds. Where the last time I did it and I fed them, I paid $15. Yeah, I really did. So I went to get it just recently, and it said 30. So I didn't get it. That's when I said I need to grow it. Grow them. So I'm growing sunflower seeds. All right. So anyway. Right now, just to show you in my fridge. Just to show you this. Check this out. Now, we're low on eggs. I just have 3 whole dozen there, and this is what I've been collecting. I got like one more spot to put in here. Sorry, I've been collecting, and then that'll go in here, and I'll put me an empty one up here and start filling that. Okay. Quail eggs. 3, 6. I got 9 minus 2 eggs. 9 dozen minus 2 eggs of quail eggs, and that happened just in the last couple of days, because trying to think how many days that is. It's not that many, because I had collected some, and I made some pickled eggs. Now I done finished off one. I started on this one, and I got 2 more, but I need to make some more because I got people that buy it, and but I'm eating them more than I have been. So So I need to keep collecting for that too, because I'm gonna tell you what, they taste, oh, they really are real good. Even everybody that buys them from me, they just love it. You know, you get to some people, oh, quail eggs. And I say, you probably never ate one before, huh? No. And most people, when they make a face and they don't like something, they really never even tried it, you know. But you would have tried. You try quail eggs and you're going to be hooked, because they are really good. Even now, what we like to do with them sometimes, we take them, the little quail eggs, and you can cut them in half and throw them in your salad. You know, they're real good like that. And then you can, you know, you can fry them. You know, even though you're seeing them boiled there, you can fry them. And check this out. They got this pair of scissors. Look at this. See that? Let me get an egg out. I want to show you. I'm not going to cut it, but I'm just going to show you. So if you wanted to do some fried eggs, you'd get this pair of scissors like this, and you take and you stick the egg in there like that, and then you this cuts the top off, so you can dump the yolk out, because there's a membrane in here that's real thick. It's not like a chicken egg. You can break it open like that. You ain't gonna do it. Okay, the membrane is that thick in there. It's real thick. So you chop the top off with them scissors, and you dump it out. That's how when you're gonna fry quail eggs, you need a little pair of scissors. Or you're gonna really struggle opening them up, you know. I used to have two pair. I don't see the other pair. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. When you buy them on Amazon, they come in two of them. Now I paid like $6 or something for the two of them. All right, so there you go. Just kind of giving you some pros and cons about chicken eggs and quail eggs, what you should do, what you should look for, maybe what you should start thinking about. Chickens are easier, a whole lot easier, because you don't have to sit there and once a week clean the cages, you know, clean the trays, okay? But even cleaning the trays is not that much work, you know. So now it is, if you get into, you know, having, you know, I only have 3 cages that's operating, breeder cages, that I have to actually do that to. You know, if you set yourself up and well, you want 10 cages, well, man, that's a lot more involved to keep it up and clean. If you get into that, I wouldn't have chickens at all, probably. You would have enough. But the quail, unless you're doing it, you know, for a little sideline income coming in, I'm gonna tell you, before I really increased my flock of chickens and doing what I'm doing now, and I just had my regular 8 hens and that was it, what I made off of the quail, selling babies and selling pickled eggs, covered the cost of the feed, everything. And that was before the price of feed went up, because the price of feed went up, but my price on my quail and on my eggs haven't gone up. They stayed the same, you know what I mean? But when I had the eight chickens, and I had all 4 of the breeder cages going, I was making enough money off of selling baby quail and selling pickled quail eggs, to cover the cost of all the feed that I needed in the back, even for the fish. And just saying, you know, so there was a time where it covered the cost of everything. So that's what I'm saying, you know, I still sell pickled eggs, and I still sell baby quail, but the price has increased. But now I'm selling chickens, and I'm getting a nice little chunk of change for a chicken nowadays. For a hen, hens go for kind of high. And the roosters are selling less, but lately people have been calling and asking for roosters, and I think more people are wanting to start breeding, and because people want, I'm selling roosters more than, like, the roosters are not sitting, like, I had roosters sitting there, and I grew them out and I processed them, then they're in my freezer. Well, lately, the last couple of hatches, I've been selling the roosters too. Yeah. So, I think people are wanting the roosters. I think they wanting to, you know, start raising their own meat. I think people are kind of being awakened to it. And so, wake up. Wake up, because we're going to have to take care of ourselves if this keeps on going. You know, hopefully it's kind of plateaus out where it's at and things don't get worse. I hope it stops, but if it don't, man, start getting yourself ready, man, to kind of like help supplement the cost, because I know people that are on fixed incomes, and their fixed income hasn't changed. I know people who are on food stamps, and their food stamps didn't increase because everything, I mean, the price of everything right now, I know, I've noticed the things that I go to Walmart and get have went up 25%. I figured it out. They went up 25% in their price. Because I go there for certain things that I get, and they've gone up 25%. I came home and figured it all. It was 25% increase. Now, you know, that's 25 cents on every dollar, guys. You know, it don't sound like a lot, but when you start buying for your week's groceries, that's a whole lot of money. That's all of a sudden you were paying now you were paying $100 for something. Now you're paying $125. Right? That's a week, okay? Most people spend that and a whole lot more every week, depending on how many kids you have and everything. But to spend $100 at the store is not, you don't get hardly anything. So, I mean, I know people are spending more than that for their groceries every week. I get it. I know they are. So now what used to be $100 is now $125. So anybody that's spending $400 a month, now you're spending $500 a month. If you've been spending, you know, $200 a week, right? Now it's $50 a week. It's $200 more a month. That starts adding up, man. That's crazy. It's crazy. So it's like, man, I'm just like, I feel bad for people who haven't even got a clue about this yet, who think it's all gonna smooth over, and I got enough money to get through this, you know. I hope so. I hope it don't get worse. I really do, but I can see their handwriting on the wall, and it don't look like it's going to get better soon, put it that way. And even if it stays like this, well, I mean, you'd still be better off trying to supplement somehow. You know, starting a garden, start raising quail or chickens, whatever one. And but anyway, okay, I'm rambled on enough. It's going to be too long of a video if I keep on talking. But you know, which one will meet your need, quail or chicken? Weigh it out. You can't go wrong with either one. Okay, you really can't. You know, the little bit that every week, that the little maintenance you got to do on the quail, you know, on your chicken coop, you know, what, I don't know. I clean my coop out maybe 4 times a year, and it's a job when I do it. It's a lot harder job than it is keeping the maintenance on the quail. I'm just saying. Well, I'm doing both, and I'm not complaining about it, but some people, you know, just need to know the pros and cons on each one so they can make a decision on what to do, you know. They might want to start all this, and they don't know about quail. You might not understand about quail or know about it or even thought about it. You might just know about the chickens, and everybody talks about chickens, and chickens this, chicken that. And chickens are good to have. But you might be like freaking out. Man, this is going to take up too much space. I don't have much space, man. You know, if some people live in a city, like let's say if you lived in the city of New Orleans and you lived in one of these doubles, I mean, your backyard is not big at all. I know. I had my grandma, on both sides of my mom and dad's, their parents, they all lived in them shotgun homes that had this little bitty skinny aisle down the whole side of the house, and in the backyard you had a little square, and it wasn't much. And I had one of my grandmas had a goat. Yeah, with that little yard, they had a goat. I don't know, you know. I mean, I was too little to think, wow, you got a goat in a little bitty backyard? No, we went there, it seemed normal. It seemed normal, but anyway. Weigh it out. You might want to consider quail over chicken. Yeah, so anyway. All right, guys. That's going to be it for today, okay? Y'all be blessed. See y'all guys on the next video, all right? Bye.